What's up, pizza people? It's Jesse from Patio Pizza, and today I'm going to show you how to make authentic New York style pizza in your home oven. Let's get going. Alright, we all love our home ovens. They're truly a modern marvel of convenience. However, when it comes to making pizzas, they have some limitations. The main issues are they do not reach high enough temperatures and they don't have a substantial baking surface to make pizzas on. Your typical New York style pizza is going to be made in a deck oven. It's going to be cooked between 600 and 800 degrees on a stone surface that's between 2 and 10 inches thick. Your home oven is going to max out about 500, 550 degrees with no surface at all to bake on, just a metal grate. Your typical New York style deck oven will cook a pizza in 6 minutes or less. That's going to be thin, crispy, chewy with nice caramelized cheese. Compare that to a home oven that takes about 14 minutes to cook a pizza. It's going to give you a burnt cheese with a brittle, crackery crust. But fear not, because in today's video, I'm going to share the tips and hacks to empower you to make authentic New York style pizza right in your home oven, despite its limitations. The magic begins the day before where we make our dough. This dough recipe has been specifically formulated for home oven use to make an authentic New York style pizza. 24 hours before pizza time, you'll whip up your dough in a large bowl or a stand mixer. We're going to add 250 grams or 1 cup of water, 3 grams or 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, 400 grams or 2.5 cups of high gluten or bread flour, and we'll sprinkle on 2 teaspoons of salt and olive oil. If you're using a stand mixer, let it run on low for 10 minutes. If you're going old school with a spoon, blend the ingredients together. Once the dough takes shape, perform a series of stretch and folds every few minutes until it firms up. Cover and let that rest at room temperature for 1 hour. At that point, we'll divide the dough into 2 equal 340 gram or roughly 14 ounce dough balls, or simply eyeball half. We'll store these in a grease container in the fridge until 1 hour before you're ready to start baking pizza. At that point, take it out and let it warm up to room temperature. If you need a deeper dive into dough baking, I'm going to put a link to a couple other videos in the description that should help you out. Take a look at those. All right, let's talk oven preparation. 1 hour before it's time to make pizza, we're going to set up our oven with what I like to call the double baking steel method. To mimic the experience of baking in a pizza deck oven, you'll place not 1, but 2 pizza steels inside your home oven. The first goes in the center and the second 2 racks above it. Preheat your oven to its maximum temperature, but not broil, and let it run for a solid 50 to 70 minutes. I do want to mention that the main steel that I'm using today is from the company Pizzori. So it's a Pizzori pizza steel. This is a new item for me, and it's pretty cool. It's a really nice steel. One thing I really like about it is it has handles underneath it, so it's easier to pull in and out of the oven. A lot of pizza steels are just a flat piece of steel, which can be a little tricky to slide in and out of the oven. This has nice little grips, makes it a lot easier to use, and it's super thick, so it holds heat really well. It's just a overall super well designed pizza steel. While we're waiting for the oven to get hot, let's go ahead and whip up some sauce. This is a super easy sauce recipe, and it's very authentic to what you'll see in a lot of New York style pizzerias. All you're gonna do is grab a can of good San Marzano tomatoes or a good California sun-ripened plum tomato. Here's a couple of the brands that I like. Place them in a bowl and add a generous pinch of sea salt and oregano, and just smash it all up. You can also get your hands in there for a more rustic feel. Just be ready to make a bit of a mess. You'll want to avoid using a food processor or blender because that will break the seeds up and make your sauce bitter. And when you're all done, you're gonna have this super nice, bright, clean, fresh tomato sauce. Most authentic New York pizzerias are going to cook their sauce raw on the pizza. Makes sense because you're cooking the sauce on the pizza. Why cook sauce twice? It's going to, again, keep it fresh. It's going to keep it acidic. These tomatoes are plenty sweet. You don't need to add any sugar to them. And there you go. Pizza sauce, the easy way. All right, let's talk cheese for a second. We're using 2 types of cheese on this authentic New York style pizza. We're using a low moisture whole milk mozzarella, and we're using Asiago. We're grating our own cheese because the anti-caking agent they put on pre-shredded cheese burns quickly and it doesn't taste good. So shred your own cheese. Before we shred the cheese, we're going to put the mozzarella in the freezer for like 20 minutes. This makes it easier to shred, and then after it's shredded, we're going to put it back in the freezer to keep it ice cold until it's time to make pizza. This will reduce the risk that the cheese burns on the pizza and just gives us a nice melted caramelized cheese, not a burnt cheese. All right, it's been 50 minutes. The oven is scorching hot. Let's kick it up a notch by turning on the broiler for 10 minutes to get that top steel sizzling. In the meantime, stretch out your pizza dough. If you need help with stretching out pizza dough, again, I have several videos on the topic. I'm going to link those up in the description. Go ahead and take a look at those if you need to. Once it's stretched, we'll add our fresh tomato sauce, Asiago, and that ice-cold mozzarella. Now put your oven back on its highest baking setting off a broil and launch your masterpiece onto that middle steel. All right, at this point, it should take between 6 and 8 minutes to fully bake the pizza. At some point during the bake, you probably want to get in there and just give it a little turn to make sure it bakes completely evenly. You might have some hot spots on either stone, so giving it a little spin will ensure that you don't have any spots that get a little too dark or don't cook enough. And there you have it, a New York style pizza right out of your standard home oven. All right, there you have it, an authentic New York style pizza in a home oven. We've got some nice caramelization on the cheese, but it's not broken and it's not burnt. The crust is golden brown. When you push it, you still get crunch, but it's not brittle. You got a soft, chewy crust with a nice crunch. Check out the bottom there, golden brown, some good leoparding around. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I hope you give this recipe a shot. Thanks for joining us today. Love you lots.